Call 1-888-FARMERS to switch, and you could save an average of $470 on your auto insurance. That's a lot of money in just a few minutes. With savings like that, you could be lounging on an impractical amount of ornate and overpriced throw pillows you bought for your couch. But you won't, because you're better with money than that. That's why you're calling us in the first place. Call 1-888-FARMERS to get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Based on average nationwide annual savings survey data July to December 2020. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
The single greatest handicapper of all time, me, Joe Duffy of Joe Duffy's Picks, OffshoreInsiders.com. 11-3 wise guy plays in basketball. Get the NBA Interconference Game of the Month among 4 winners. 2 wise guy plays. We've got it all. We ride or fade clearly over undervalued teams. We also exploit systems that you and I have won with well into last century and likely will for the next several decades to come. Winners only. Joe Duffy's Picks at OffshoreInsiders.com. Now let's take a look at today's news and notes for both fantasy basketball players and NBA bettors. Toronto and Philadelphia. Sixers far and away last in offensive efficiency in the NBA, getting 91.2 points per 100 possessions. Also the worst net rating of minus 12.1 points. The net rating is the difference between offensive and defensive efficiency, so a negative rating is bad, positive is obviously very good. Sixers far and away the worst in the league. Sixers are the top under team, going under this year by an average of minus 5.7 points per game. Troy Roten, a key player for the Sixers, very good under-the-radar player, is out. Orlando and New York, the Knicks have the third worst net rating in the NBA at minus 9.4 when it comes to efficiency rankings, offense and defense combined, though the Magic have the fifth worst at minus 5.8. Knicks, bar none, the worst team in their last 10 games in net rating at minus 14.3, much worse than the Magic, who aren't very good themselves, at minus 7.3. Indiana and Miami, the Heat, 3 games in 4 days. Pacers, the second worst offensive efficiency team in the NBA. The Heat, the second biggest under team, going under by an average of minus 4.8. Charlotte and Cleveland. Charlotte, third worst in offensive efficiency at 98.6 points per 100 possessions. Oklahoma City and Atlanta, OKC, 3 games in 4 days, and they play against the best spread team in the NBA in terms of margin of cover. Chicago and Dallas. Chicago playing back-to-back. Dallas second in offensive efficiency at 110.7 points per 100 possessions. The Bulls are 8th at 105.9. Mavericks second best in net rating at plus 7.8, though the Bulls are a pretty solid 3.5. Bulls are the top over team in the NBA, going over by an average of 5.7 points per game. Well, dang is questionable, though, for the Bulls. New Orleans and Minnesota. The Wolves, the worst defensive efficiency team in the league, allowing 109.9 points per 100 possessions, but the Pelicans, 6th worst at 105.7. Minnesota, second worst net rating in the NBA, minus 11.2. Pelicans, though, right in the middle of the pack. They're not that bad at minus 0.3. Minnesota, Drew Holiday is out. Kevin Martin is questionable, so you're talking about 2 key players that have been out for Minnesota. One could return tonight. Remember, are one step backwards to take 2 steps forward if a key player does come back after being out of the lineup for a long time. Often that team becomes a short-term, very short-term go against. Lakers and the Spurs. Remember, more times than not, scheduling dynamics have the home team more rested, but in this case, the road team Lakers are the more rested. Spurs are playing back-to-back in 3 games in 4 days. Lakers are the third worst defensive efficiency in the league at 108.5 points. Kobe Bryant is out for the Lake Show. Boston and Denver. Boston playing back-to-back. Thin air at Denver. A lot of people knee-jerk reaction is, whoa, you got a team playing back-to-back in Denver. The Nugs, though, since 1995, are only 136, 127, and 10 under those circumstances, playing at home against a team playing back-to-back, and just 4-5 this season. So we want to warn you against going against that square knee-jerk reaction. The Nuggets, minus 12.2 net rating in their last 5 games, which is second worst in that span. So with Denver playing very poorly as of late when it comes to efficiency, and again, efficiency statistics are much more important than the mere points per game statistics, they're in a good fade situation here, especially since we really like fading kind of a knee-jerk square thing about Boston being unrested. And especially when you're playing the thin air and playing as poorly as Denver, if anything, it may hurt Denver a little bit. So our free play here is Boston. That is not one of our 4 premium plays. Our premium play, including your interconference game of the month, 2 wise guy plays from the best and actually hottest handicapper in the land, Joe Duffy's Picks, the anchor of OffshoreInsiders.com, www.offshoreinsiders.com.
Once upon a time in a convenience store, a woman asked, "Which zero-calorie drink will I like more?" The cashier said, "I have a thought. Coke Zero Sugar always hits the spot." The taste made her heart fill with laughter, and with her Coke Zero Sugar, she lived happily ever after. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, unbelievably delicious.
No trip to the store is complete without the unbelievably delicious zero-calorie taste of Coke Zero Sugar. Pick some up at 7-Eleven today.